roll. We are into the exciting times. We are into the exciting moments here of this FIFA World Cup. Hey guys, how you going? So down Breakout Sport. We are live as South Africa will be taking on the Canadians here in the very, very beginning of the round of 32. Now, you do have to forgive me. I do have to be a little bit more quiet at the moment compared to our typical streams. That is because it is currently 1:50 a.m. in the morning over here in the Wuhan right now. I have also just woken up. We've obviously had a pretty hectic weekend, but now we've got to move into some big knockout games. And this is at Los Angeles Stadium in America. Unfortunately, Canada, they weren't able to, I'm pretty certain they weren't able to get home ground advantage being able to play in Canada, which is why they're technically the away team here. So if they had been able to win that Group B match, the Group B standings over the likes of Switzerland, they would have been here probably in Vancouver or Toronto or wherever it may have been, probably more so Vancouver. But the fact of the matter is that they are actually technically travelling away here, and they are taking on South Africa, who miraculously got through their group. That was absolutely massive that they got through that group, and especially knocking out South Korea when everything seemed against them. After that first game against Mexico, you thought South Africa had no chance. You thought South Africa, they looked like they had absolutely no ability to get through this group. They had the 2 red cards in that game, and Mexico pretty cleanly got it past them, right? So you just never would have thought there was a possibility that you'd be seeing South Africa here in the knockout stages. But at the end of the day, we are here. They are in the knockout stages, and could we find a little bit of a spicy one here? Maybe not. I'm probably going to be expecting Canada to come through and win this game here. But with that being said, I think that it would be silly to count out the South Africans when everyone did originally already count them out. You go through their group, the group games so far. Like obviously, yeah, sure, they did have that game against Mexico, which was not good. It was really awful actually, where they lost 2-0. Both teams got red cards, but Mexico got 2. They had the 1-1 draw with Czechia, which they will definitely take because that's what's obviously got them here. But then that massive 1-0 victory over South Korea, nobody expected them to get that one. Nobody in the world expected South Korea to get knocked out, and then also just genuinely get knocked out on goal difference there. That was just such a huge shock. And now they come against Canada, who is, well, a lower ranked team than South Korea as well. I'm pretty certain South Korea is ranked in the mid-20s, or were ranked in the mid-20s anyway. And now they're probably dropped down to maybe the early 30s. But Canada, I think, probably are going to be in that mid-range 30s area. If I can get these rankings up, I'll get it up. The game starts in 7 minutes time, guys. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you are new around here. We'll get to the chat in a moment. But in terms of rankings, now Canada, where are they now? They are 32. Okay, so they're just slightly behind Korea. Korea have gone down from 25 to 31st, and Canada have gone to 32nd. They've actually dropped 2 spots here, funnily enough. The Canadians were originally in 30. I'm looking at Australia. How have Australia dropped away? How have Australia dropped a spot throughout this group stage, despite the fact that we qualified through our group? Come on, give me a break there. But with that being said, I'm not going to count out the South Africans today. I do think Canada should win, but I'm not going to count them out because of the fact that people counted them out already. Now, in regards to the 2-team lineups here at Los Angeles Stadium, South Africa playing a 4-2-3-1. Their goalkeeper is Ronwen Williams, and he's the captain, with the backline being Aubrey Modiba, Mbekazeli, Mbokazi, Kuliso Mutau, and Ime Okon, with the midfield Tiveho Mokwena and Sefelo Sitole. And then you go to the attack of Oswin Apollos, Arero Rele Bohil Mofakeng, Thapelo Maseko, and Evidence Makopa. And within the substitutions, you've got Sifo Shane, Ricardo Goss, Tabang Matu Ludi, Kulumani Ndame, Samuke Kelekabini, Nkosinathi Sibisi, Orwethu Makanya, Bradley Cross, Talente Mbatha, Jaden Adams, Shepang Moremi, Lyle Foster, Ikram Reines. I'm surprised Lyle Foster's on the bench here, and Kamogelo Sebele Bele, with the coach being Hugo Henry Bruce. Like I said, I'm surprised that Lyle Foster, the Burling man, is on the substitute bench. It does seem like this team does fancy themselves a little bit on the attack here, even though they've got the 4-2-3-1. But they do have plenty up front for designated attackers, not necessarily the structure of the team, but for designated attackers there. which is going to be really exciting to watch here from the South Africans. And look, let's see how they play when it comes to the knockouts, because we've never seen this team play in the knockouts before. It is such a different scenario, such a different situation to what you would expect from the group stage. So, this is uncharted territory here for South Africa. Absolutely uncharted territory, and it's win or go home. We are in the knockouts, so whoever wins this game will be going through to the round of 16. Whoever loses this game will be packing their bags, obviously. So it's going to be so interesting to see how South Africa play tactically in this matchup. Now, in regards to Canada, their starting lineup, you've got a 4-4-2 here. Maxime Crepeau is the goalkeeper, with the backline Alistair Johnston, Derek Cornelius, Moise Bombito, and Richie Laria, with the midfield being Stephen Esterquio, who is the captain, Liam Miller, and Nathan Saliba, with the attack being Jonathan David, Tani Oruwase, and Tajon Buchanan. And then you go to the substitutions: Dane St. Clair, Owen Goodman, Alfie Jones, Luc de Fougeroles, Joel Waterman, Alfonso Davies, Nico Segur, Mathieu Choinier, Jacob Schaffelberg, Jonathan Osorio, Sile Larin, Ali Ahmed, Promise David, and Jaden Nelson, with the coach being Jesse Allen Marsh. The Canadians coming into this game, obviously they had a 1-1 draw with Bosnia to start off the entire tournament. That was a little bit disappointing, but Bosnia have qualified still as well. They also beat out Qatar 6-0, which is ultimately the reason that they are here. But unfortunately, they did lose to Switzerland 2-1. Now, Switzerland had a really slow start to this tournament, especially in the friendlies, and then obviously their first game where they drew 1-1 with Qatar, which was a massive, massive surprise. But ultimately, we've gotten to the stage where Switzerland topped the group with 7 points and just absolutely dominated since that first game, winning both their games against Bosnia and then also against Canada. So they turned their form around massively. And Canada, they at least had that massive, massive result in game 2, but they're also no just lock. They're no just absolutely guarantee. But if you look at the rankings here, like I said, the Canadians are in 32nd, while South Africa, you do have actually, unfortunately, have to go all the way down to 54th, where they originally came into this tournament in 60th. So they're in 54th, though, after a rise of 6 spots there. It's actually quite crazy. Saudi Arabia has risen 50 from 61 to 58, despite the fact that their tournament has just not been great. I just don't understand how that's happened. But either way here, look, hopefully this is a good game. Hopefully it goes down to the wire. This isn't a Canadian home game, despite the fact that they are one of the hosts of this World Cup. They did not get first position, which would have guaranteed them a home spot there in Vancouver. Actually, I should make sure. That would have been Vancouver, yeah? I'm sure it probably would have been. Where are the Swiss playing? Because the Swiss are going to be the home team. So Switzerland, they are playing, it is in Vancouver, against Algeria. Oh, yeah, you would have loved that one. To be fair, it's not exactly the most difficult on either side here. Honestly, Canada might actually be a bit more happy that they came second, even though they had to travel away. I think that they, from their own standpoint, would probably be fancying themselves more against South Africa than maybe in Algeria, because Algeria, where are they ranked, to be fair? Where are they ranked? Are they ranked in like the 30s or so? No, they're ranked in 29. So that's actually a pretty big step there. So Canada might actually be fancying themselves a lot more, that they've had to go the technically harder way, but actually the easier way. It was like the Austria and who game yesterday? It wasn't Jordan. Who was it? Austria. I think it was Austria and Algeria that ended at 3-3. And the team that came second, well, obviously had to go and play Argentina, whilst the other one got a little bit of an easier schedule. So it's funny how this World Cup system works. But the game is about to get started here, guys. Obviously, smack that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. If you notice that I'm talking a lot lower than usual, it is because it is 2 a.m. in the morning, man. I'm absolutely rocked right now. But I love my football, and hopefully we get a good game here to start off these knockout rounds with an absolute bang. Patercat says hello, get around you, all the way in Canada. Are you actually at this game? Are you? I don't think you are, because otherwise you probably wouldn't be in the stream. But are you still in America? I'm surprised you haven't gone to this game, Patercat, if you are still in America. Shatish says, I believe this will be an upset and RSA will be going through. Well, that's the thing, Shatish. You don't actually watch football, so... You don't actually watch football, my man. So that's the biggest issue. I think that Canada probably go through here. But with that being said, I'd love to see the South Africans put up a fight and try and sneak through. Mistake says this match will feed families. Yeah, it's not exactly one that I guess a lot of the world is going to be really tuning into. But with that being said, they definitely do deserve the respect of being here. They definitely deserve the respect of people to acknowledge that they have gotten through to the round of 32. And look, South Africa did it the hard way. They really did it the hard way, whilst Canada, they had to earn their right here as well. And the loss to Switzerland was not fantastic at all. But by the way, Shatish, I just realised, did you really lose to Ireland in cricket? Did you really lose to the Irish in the old cricket, Shatish? Surely not. Surely India didn't go and lose to Ireland in the cricket. But yeah, look, I think the people are going to disrespect him, and it's not going to have the same kind of viewing that you would have seen from, say like a Mexico versus South Africa. But at the end of the day, this is still a host nation, and it does take away a little bit. If you had this game in Vancouver, it would have been so much better. I actually genuinely believe that Canada should win this game by a little bit, though. And that's why I brought in Jonathan David into my fantasy team, who I can easily sub out. But I've brought him into my fantasy team, and I have put the captaincy on him. Again, you can change it in fantasy, even after the game's been played, for a guy who hasn't played yet. So I've got pretty big confidence in Jonathan David, who scored, I think it was 3 goals or 4 goals in the second game against Qatar. Didn't do too much in the other 2 games, though, but I'm not too fancying of South Africa really on the attack in this game. Canada here, they're through the middle. Here's a chance. Here's a chance for the Canadians. They'll be pushed out wide. And now they'll come inside the box. Alfonso Davies will probably come off the bench at some point as well, and that should be cleared away here from South Africa. But I also got Crepo, the goalkeeper. Now, obviously, I have Emi Martinez, who I'm fully expecting should get a clean sheet against Austria, against who are they playing again? Argentina, Cape Verde. Even if Cape Verde make it really, really difficult defensively, at the end of the day, I do feel like Argentina should keep a clean sheet in that game. But I've got him as my backup. I have gone with Crepo here because I just feel like this is going to be a very, very tough game in South Africa. Not even that because Canada is an amazing team. It's just that South Africa have had their big, big moment of getting through. Are they able to go and capitalise on getting through even further? Big day for us Canadians. South Africa, this ain't rugby, we got you today. This notion is crazy, eh? I've seen this across this World Cup where nations like New Zealand, I'm sure Egypt will do the same thing with us if we don't beat them on Saturday. But we've had this serious notion. South Africa on the left wing. They break away on this left wing. South Africa. And it will come back here into their own offensive half. But it's really strange. Like, we're seeing these countries go back to rugby, whether it be from Egypt to New Zealand or now to South Africa. And again, I'm sure the Egyptians will do it to us on Saturday if we don't beat them, which I fancy is to beat them. But there's just been this massive thing about like these countries down here and this is why we have such a reason to play and such a reason to prove people wrong, because it's like we're only known for we've obviously caused everybody so much hurt when it comes to rugby that we get to football where these nations aren't necessarily known as being the best nations in the world. Obviously, they're not known for it, and they use that as their way. Like, Egypt, what are you doing singing go back to rugby as if you're like some big dog team in the whole footballing world? Like, Egypt, come on, man. I'd love to get revenge for the Kiwis for that. I really would. That's going to be a free kick here against Canada, and South Africa will get this ball and be able to kick it away. Arch Season says, it's good to see South Africa making this round for a country not too heavily invested in football. Absolutely. And that goes for most countries also in Africa. I think what have we had? We've had 10 African nations, and 9 have gotten through. I think the only one that didn't get through was Curaçao, if I'm not mistaken. South Africa's under its left wing here. So you're right. Ghana's gotten through. even the fact of these bigger nations like your Ivory Coast and your Ghanas and your Senegals and whatnot, their financial systems and the prowess that they have in comparison to these European nations and whatnot and these South American nations is far and few between, right? It is a significant gap. So it is impressive for your Oceania teams if they can get through. New Zealand obviously did not, but it is impressive if they get through. It is impressive if even, teams like a team like Australia, right? The footballing program in Australia does not get much funding at all. We have our cricket, we have our rugby league, we have our AFL and all that sort of stuff. Jonathan David nearly gets away here, but we cleared away from the goalkeeper for South Africa. But Africa just does not have anywhere near the funding in general. But yet you've got 9 out of 10 of the teams getting through, which is really, really impressive. He's talking about cricket our season. He's talking about cricket. I think they must have lost 2 games. South Africa over the top here. Oh, Canada, get back in defense. Push it inside. Can they clear it? Still South African ball. Big shot from outside the box. And that's going to be pushed away. It's a routine save in the end here from Crepo. But that is still very, very interesting that South Africa have had the first threat of the game. Oh, Jonathan David here with the ball. That's a free kick. There's plenty of Canadians in the crowd. Good to see. Lost series to Ireland 2-0 is insane. Mistakes as soccer fans are toxic as. I think all sport fans are, man. I think all sport fans really are. Imagine they're telling us to put the skates on and play hockey. Yeah, but the thing is they don't. And this is my point. This is my point. That's because we don't think of hockey. We don't think of hockey at all. Canada, they shoot, the ball goes over the bar. It should be a goal kick. Mistakes says, do you think if Iran wasn't treated unfairly, they would have made it to the round of 32? I see this notion put around a lot. Iran aren't that great. With that being said, they were only on the very, very skirting of making the round of 32, even with their disadvantages. And they were disadvantages for sure. But ultimately, it's not like Iran are this world-beating team anyway. So do I think they would have made the round of 32? Yeah, because they would have had a better preparation. They would have been able to probably beat New Zealand because they had to fly in that day and then fly out that day. And it was just really disadvantaged, and they had really a lot of things go against them. Do I think that Iran are a very, very good football team? Not necessarily. But because of the close proximity to them even making it through the round of 32 anyway, 1 second here, chance here for the Canadians. They're going to step this ball backwards. That's going to go out for a goal kick. It should be a free kick, really, to South Africa. So, yeah, I think that, yeah, they would have, because look at how close they were to making it to the round of 32 anyway, despite their disadvantages. But no, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Iran are a world-beating team. Mbakasi has done really well defensively there for South Africa. He's done really, really well defensively for South Africa to prevent that one from being anything serious. 8 minutes gone here. 8 minutes gone. Tomorrow we have some really, really big games, actually. Massive, massive games. Like we start off with Brazil versus Japan. I'm so excited for. Then we got Germany versus Paraguay and Netherlands versus Morocco. But the game I'm really looking forward to is Brazil versus Japan. I actually very nearly did not stream this game because Mondays is usually the day that I take off from streaming and I do rest. So it's been obviously a hectic weekend with rugby league and football. But I just thought I should respect it and I should do it. With that being a good ball here, Jonathan David now inside. He'll get that ball. Miller puts his ball out to the left wing in the box over the top, and that's going to be a goal kick. No, it's going to be a corner. Corner. No, I was considering to miss this one, but right now it's starting off pretty well. Messi coming in against Jordan, scoring inside 10 minutes, was taking the piss. That is very typical, though. Yeah, he came off the bench in the 60th minute and still found a way to score. I don't even know why they needed to bring him on in the 60th minute. Like, why did they do that? I don't understand. Why did they bring him on in the 60th minute? Australia is classified Asia. Correct. We used to be Oceania. Now we've been Asia for a good 20-odd years now. They whip this ball in, and that is going to be going across goal, and they should be able to clear this one away with Mungasi. and there'll be a South Africa free kick. So we used to be an Oceania E4, but then we said, this is ridiculous. We're beating teams 7-0, 31-0. Fact, by the way, 20-0, 18-0. All facts. That's what we were beating Fiji and American Samoa and Tuvalu and the likes by. We were absolutely slaughtering them, and we said, this isn't good enough for us. We don't want to be here. We want to go to Asia and play Japan, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, all these kind of teams. South Korea, South Africa are inside the box. Not South Africa, but South Africa is just outside the box right now. Ndiba, that's a free kick. No, wow, good defense. Really good defense in the end. They can counter here. Canada, and it will not come away. Now South Africa's going to get their own opportunity. Nope, Canada will be able to push this ball back to the goalkeeper. 10 minutes gone. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. But anyway, so yeah, we said we want to play against a lot better teams so that we become a better nation due to the fact that we have to compete heavier against these bigger teams. That's a great challenge there from South Africa, and Canada will not be able to get this ball. So yeah, then we moved over there, and that's why we've seen the improvement and the constant progression from the Australian football team. Where now, prior to 2006, they just never were making World Cups, and now we've made every single World Cup since 2006 and competing heavily. Going and beating Turkey in this tournament, and only losing to the likes of France and Argentina in the last tournament, who were the two finalists, and pushing Argentina the whole way. We would never be in this situation if we kept playing with the fodder that was in Oceania. And that's with all due respect to them. But at the end of the day, if you watch international football, you know that it is classed as fodder. There's a reason why you can see New Zealand are the only team from Oceania to qualify, and that's because they get an automatic qualification. But there's also a reason why they're the first team eliminated as well. And whilst it was respectable that they got the draw against Iran 2-2, I don't think that result would have happened had Iran not been disadvantaged. Plus also then they got beaten, 3-1 by Egypt and then 5-1 by Belgium. If New Zealand do not move to Asia, they will constantly have this hanging over them, and they will constantly be a part of the fodder of the World Cup. Canada here. Jonathan David. Oh, it was a good turn, but it was a little bit too heavy on the touch. And then there's going to be a free kick in South Africa. A little bit too heavy on the touch there. Daniel says, Blaze, are you sleeping after this one? What time is it there? It is 2:13 in the morning. I had a little bit of a nap beforehand, but now I'm awake for this one. But yeah, I'll definitely be able to sleep after this. Shatish says, I've been enough behind the Britishers and the Pakistanis when they lose. My turn to face the heat, bring it on. Well, yeah, that's how it works, man. That's how it works. Ash Season says, New Zealand scored first versus Egypt, I believe, but went downhill after. Yeah, and like that's something that they can be relatively proud with. But the thing is that I believe it more for them. I think that New Zealand need to start believing in themselves as a nation, like Australia once did. We believed in ourselves as a nation, and we decided to move, and we've prospered because of it. And we'll continue to prosper, and we'll continue to get better. South Africa here. Oh my gosh, they're actually going to score here. Oh, my fucking so close. They just push this ball back around the edge of the box. Oh, Ty, I'll read this out in a second. Oh, inside, cleared away, and it'll be Canada ball. No, it's going to come back out here for South Africa, just outside the area. Long story short, I believe New Zealand should believe in itself because Australia once did, and we're prospering because of it. Ty said, I had Algeria money line. They scored 94th minute, then Austria go and score in 96th. I wanted to cry. Oh, they're away here, Canada. They're away here. Get the ball in the box. Jonathan David. Oh, that's great defense. That is fantastic defense there at the back from South Africa. Mbokasi. Mbokasi's had a great game so far. Just remember, guys, this is a do or die. This is a knockout. If you lose here, you're out. You are out if you lose from this point onwards. But I'm surprised you got on the win there, Ty, considering that both those teams getting through, they just needed a draw by teams. So I'm surprised you did get on the outright winner. Ifo Madeline says New Zealand got in without having to win anything. They still had to win, but it wasn't difficult matchups. Oh, they weren't given the corner here. Wow, they've actually turned this around and said that this is a goal kick. Wow. Big call. That's huge there for Mbokasi then. No, he's absolutely massive there. But yeah, no, I'm surprised he did get on the Algerian money line, considering that, you know, both those teams just need a draw, because Austria were out and Iran were in if Austria didn't draw that game. Same thing goes with Iran. But what a crazy game. And they'll come here to the keeper Crepeau for Canada. Yeah, I did hear that Ben Stokes has decided to retire, Ash. I have seen this. Seb says, didn't realise you were on the late shift. You better start realising, son. I'm not going to miss a single round of 32 matchup. Jonathan David here. Jonathan David inside the box. And here's a chance. Oh, South Africa should be able to get this one away. Should be able to get this one away. I just realised it's actually Oluwashi who had the ball just then, not Jonathan David, Oluwashi. But that will be a corner. Yeah, no, I'm not going to miss a single round of 32 matchup, Seb. I was going to skip this one because usually it's my day off, but I'm going to slap it. Yeah, retired last test day tomorrow. What did he say? Why did he say that he's retiring, Seb? Is it just because of... Surely it's not because of age. Does he just not believe in maybe the English... Like, it's really odd, especially with the Nationals coming up next year, 1 year's time. So 16 minutes gone here. And now with this ball inside with a corner. Ooh, that was spicy. But it will be a goal kick. Jonathan David misses that one. Oh, he probably should have been doing better there. Like, that's not an easy shot, but at the end of the day, he is getting a relatively open opportunity in that situation. He should have been doing better. So, yeah, it's not that they had to do nothing E4, but essentially, like, they're taking on teams like Fiji, who are actually, to make it really easily understandable for you, in their qualification, New Zealand do not have to, and there's a guaranteed qualification for Oceania. In their qualification, there is not a single team above 152 or 151 on the rankings. This is out of all the world. Out of the entirety of the world, there is only 211 ranked teams. New Zealand, in their qualification group, the highest is New Caledonia at 151st, Fiji at 155th, Tahiti at 157th. So that should tell you what we're talking about here. All right, so South Africa now will play this ball out the back with the clearance. 17 minutes gone in the first half. He hasn't really said yet. He said he wants to finish the game off and then we'll talk about it, but thinks it's what's best for him. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's really out of the blue for mine. I never was expecting that one. I was definitely expecting him to be there for the Ashes next year. I was definitely expecting him to be there for it. Because what is he, like 36 years old? 35, 36 years old or something like that? And Canada will not be able to get this. South Africa will be able to clear it away. I will say both teams have had, not that like their chances per se, but both teams have had their little moments here in this first little part. It's not like it's just been one-way street. What were the odds of this game? Like, I'm sure Canada would have been favourites, but what were the odds? 35. Yeah, see, like, he's older, but I definitely would have expected him to play until next year at the very least. Get that final Ashes. Because what? He's never won an Ashes, has he? Or was he a part of the younger team? I don't think he was he? They haven't won the Ashes in over a decade. Was he a part of the younger team back at the time when they won the Ashes over Australia? Was he part of them? $1.35 for Canada, $3.30 for South Africa match start. Yeah. Like, I think Canada win, but it's like this isn't a lot considering they're not at home. This is in LA rather than in Vancouver because they didn't finish first in their group. And they'll push this ball into the middle of the park, and then they'll whip this ball out here to the left wing, and that should be a throw-in here for the Canadians. And it will be a throw-in for the Canadians. Ash says, "Place, if we lost to Egypt, it's still a pass mark." No. for Australia, right? Getting through here again, all odds, or because we made it the same way in 2022, would it be classified as not progress or unfair? It's not progress. In 2022, we made the round of 16. This year, we're going to make the round of 32. I want to think bigger. I want to expect larger. I want to expect this nation to grow. We're not growing if we're going to lose to Egypt in the round of 32. It completely depends on how the game plays out. But no, I'm going to go with expectations, a lot higher expectations. Now, if we are to lose it or if we are to not get through, it's not like it's going to be a harsh result, and it's not going to be like, oh, we were shithouse, as long as we don't lose 5-0. But no, I'm not going to be one of these mentally easily beaten teams where you just go, yeah, no, it's a success because we got through the group stage. Like, with all due respect, Cape Verde got through the group stage. With all due respect, we've seen teams that would never have gotten through, qualify through. Paraguay, how they deserve to really even be in this next stage is mind-boggling, really. But the point of the matter is that there's so many teams that have qualified through to this round of 32 that it's not as special as it is when it was just the round of 16 that was the next one. Jonathan David at this left wing, that's going to be a free kick here to Canada. It's not as special as it was because there was only 2 teams that qualified. Now, Australia would have qualified under the old system. Oh, there's Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba there. Get around her. It's not as special as it once was. Did you change your fantasy team with all the free transfers? Yes, Seb, I did, yeah. Yeah, I did put Jonathan David in for this game, plus also went with Crepel. But if Crepel fails and does concede a goal, then I can easily just bring in Emi Martinez, who I've got as my other one. But of course I did. I had a ripper week. I think I got 90 points last week. This last week just gone on the old fantasy. 21 minutes gone here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. So Canada take this free kick into the box. Puts it into the top. It's a free header there, but they just could not get any quality behind it. Cornelius had a great opportunity here. Oh, it's a free header. He just does not get the flight of the ball there, Cornelius, and it goes straight to the keeper. How did Spain tie with Cape Verde? Because, here we go. South Africa inside the edge of the box. Inside the box. Moving in. Chance. They're still moving. Pushes at the back. They're going to take a bigger shot here. Pot shot. Canada they don't care that you take those pot shots there. Because Cape Verde have defended very, very well. And Spain always start off slow. I got 77 because I put Undav in and Germany still refused to start him. Yeah, you know what really ticks me off is that I put Thomas Meunier in. So that was really, really ridiculous. I think I'm second in our league right now. But I had Meunier, and Meunier didn't start. Because I manually changed my team throughout the week, it means that you can't get one of those bench players if one of your players doesn't play. You can only get one of those bench players with their points if your player doesn't play. This is going to be a hydration break here. Hydration Nation. You can only get one of those players if you haven't manually changed your team. So just a real emphasis on that one for those who don't know. By the way, this is actually really cool to see. There's only 2 nations that have gotten through Asia, and it's Australia versus Australia and Japan. I love to see that. I love to see that, considering that we used to be down that one there in the Oceania. 6-1 Ashes at home in 2015, 3-2. There you go. I'm glad you say that because it's a small, weak mindset. That's why I asked you, because some people have mentioned that, but I want to see us at least beat Egypt and push the top dogs with fight. At the end of the day, we probably play Argentina in the next round. We have Egypt this round, and then if we beat Egypt, we'll take on the winner of Argentina and Cape Verde, and that's scary. that is scary. But they were the ones who knocked us out in that previous tournament, and hopefully we can give them some revenge in this tournament here. But it's unlikely, obviously. It will be extremely unlikely. I missed the first round, then got 88 and 77 the last 2 rounds. The first. Well, I forgot to even change my team in rounds 1 and round 2, between rounds 1 and round 2. because I thought that we were going to be able to come into the second week and you could adjust it on the fly. Obviously, that wasn't to be, and I can understand why that isn't the case now. But I didn't change my team thinking that I'd be able to change it throughout the week, but obviously that was not the case. I think that probably would have been a better idea, though. I think that would have been really, really cool to be able to adjust it throughout the week. But I'm glad that I used that the early kind of tactic of having the extra man, the 12th man on Erling Haaland in the first week. I haven't had Erling Haaland since. I haven't got him now. Actually, what's your team? What is your team, Seb? I know I've gone pretty basic up front. Well, except for Jonathan David. But I have gone with Messi and Kylian Mbappe. Like, you have to. Messi against Cape Verde and Mbappe against Sweden. You have to go those guys. I think Norway, who are they taking on? Ivory Coast? Is it Ivory Coast that Norway are taking on? I can't remember. Either way, it was a little bit more of a trickier matchup for Haaland. Where is it? Yeah, Ivory Coast. So a little bit more of a trickier matchup for Haaland. So I did skip away from him. I've got also Lamine Yamal, Kamara, Dembele. I've gone 3 Frenchmen, Olise, Dembele, and Mbappe. I think France are going to slaughter Sweden. I think they're going to slaughter Sweden. If anything happens to us or Brazil, Argentina will have a cakewalk to the final. Well, right now, I think Argentina is probably fancying them against both of you. I'm not going to lie. That's not me just trying to be a dick, like I'm just saying. Yeah, this side of the knockouts is pretty cruisy for the most part. It's pretty cruisy. I genuinely believe Japan is going to beat Brazil tomorrow. I genuinely believe it. I think we're going to see Japan beat Brazil. Do you think the Messi-Ronaldo debate was never really a debate for a while and it was just Portugal and Madrid fans trying to push the narrative of Ronaldo versus Messi? I've always believed the answer is Lionel Messi. I've always respected and appreciated what Cristiano Ronaldo has brought to the game. I think that Cristiano Ronaldo is a fantastic player, and I think he's done some really, really nice things throughout his career, and he's been unbelievable, right? But I've never personally held him on the same level as Messi. I think he is has always been the best in the game as we currently speak, right? I think that Ronaldo fans, they're not wrong to believe that what they believe, but I just feel like they're very individualized and they don't sit back and be able to respect and appreciate both sides. Like, you want to be able to watch greatness when it's happening in front of you. So, for example, for me, I've watched Messi and I watched Ronaldo and I had no intentions behind anything, right? I genuinely just wanted to appreciate greatness. I have no distaste for Ronaldo. I don't like his ego. With that being said, ego is a necessary thing in football too. But you sit back and if you're able to watch the game from a respect basis of no matter who the player is, you just respect what we're seeing and what we're being shown, you understand a few different things than the bias agenda that most will go in with. Now, people will say, oh, you're a Man City fan. Of course you hate Ronaldo. I just don't have that problem with Ronaldo. I never really have. Because when Ronaldo was at Manchester United, this was when Manchester City was not good, bro. Like, this was prior to Man City being any kind of quality. I might have a different opinion nowadays, but then again, I can still respect what Bruno Fernandes does, even though that wasn't a goal. There's no way you can tell me that was not an own goal for his final assist there. So in my opinion, I don't have him as many assists as Kevin De Bruyne. But like, I can still respect and appreciate what Bruno Fernandes does, despite the fact that he plays for a team that I hate, right? And again, Ronaldo was there before City were any kind of success. I think the debate to have regarding the two of them is Ronaldo did it in England, Spain, Italy, and Saudi. Messi, Spain, France was meh. And in America, I'd have loved to see Messi try the Prem. Well, as you would know, he was linked with Manchester City about 100 times over the last 15 years. He was linked with Manchester City about 300 times. My gosh. Every single transfer window, it was Lionel Messi 130 million, which nowadays isn't as much as it once was, but like 130 million, 150 million coming to Manchester City every single transfer window, every single one. But I just don't think that he wanted to ever do that. I don't think that he wanted to potentially risk his career and risk the regards that people had for him. I don't think so. I think it was an active choice there from Lionel not to do that. 30 minutes gone here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new around here. Ronaldo versus Colombia has to be the most boring thing I've ever seen. You're joking. You're kidding, Ty. That was an amazing game. That was an amazing 0-0. My question for you, Ty, is are you a football fan or are you just watching football because you bet on it? That was an amazing game. Because the tactics there, like you saw Colombia attacking from the outset, they just didn't score. And Ronaldo and Portugal, they were looking to score themselves. I loved that game. I thought it was awesome. And Colombia were clearly the better team. Because even at City, I'd have loved to see how he would have worked out there. Yeah, absolutely. Especially on a cold, rainy night at Stoke on a Monday night. Cold, wet Monday night in Stoke back in 2011-12. God help you. God help you. I'll jump on Japan then. I really could see Japan beating Brazil. Right now, Mexico keeper might take him out Gabriel Chavez. Might take out Cucurella, Dembele. Yeah, I got Cucurella as well. Got Dembele. I got Yamal. I got Vini. I got Lise. Oh my gosh, everyone's got the same. Oh no, everyone's actually got the same here. We've basically got the same team, bro. I don't have the Mexican keeper, but we both have. Everyone you just mentioned there, pretty much I have. Oh no. I think Messi still would have torn up England, but it's just a lot more physical of a league. So much more physical than what the La Liga is. Both of them have some wild records which might never be broken ever. Yeah, I agree. And I think that Ronaldo right now is going to stick around just to get to the 1,000 marker. I think that's the reason why Ronaldo is not looking to retire anytime soon. I think that he's just going to keep on going until he hits that 1,000 mark, which he's only like 25 goals away now, I think. 25 away from his career getting 1,000 goals. That goes through the middle. I'm kind of regretting having Jonathan David right now. South Africa have been pretty good defensively. Canada have done nothing really in this game at the moment. They haven't done anything to really threaten at all here, Canada. But South Africa haven't really done anything to threaten at all either. Ty, I would say that this game you could make the argument for has been relatively underwhelming because neither team is really going on the all-out attack. Neither team is really putting in shots. But Colombia-Portugal had shots galore. I couldn't even believe that game ended 0-0. And that was actually, fun fact, the first time that Colombia have ever had a 0-0 at a FIFA World Cup. It's the first time ever they had a 0-0. Canada. Here we go. Here's a chance. Here's a chance. No, good defense. Good defense. I wonder how many... Oh, that's a goal kick. I wonder how many extra times we're going to get here. Both... Yeah, that's right. Specifically, Ronaldo's actions in the main game was very good. Well, yeah, Ronaldo... It's a tough situation for Portugal because Ronaldo doesn't want to make the extra run because he believes they should pass the ball to him earlier. And then Portugal, the other players in the team, believe that they don't need to pass you the ball. You need to be in a good position and then they will pass you the ball. It's at a crossroads right now where realistically, if Ronaldo doesn't fall in line, it's not going to change because the whole nation is not going to fall in line with Ronaldo's viewpoint. They as a team have clearly decided that we're not just going to pass it to Ronaldo just because it's Ronaldo. You need to make the extra run. You need to be in the right position. You need to be in the right area, and then we will pass you the ball, and then you can score like you did in that game the other week against Uzbekistan. But as Uzbekistan showed, here we go, Canada. Here's a chance inside the box. It's going to be Uluweshi. Saved by the South African keeper. 34 minutes in. He just does not make the run and just expects the ball to ultimately come to him, and if the ball doesn't come to him, it's the world's against Ronaldo. The world's against him, and it's all over. South Africa inside the box. Some of Ronaldo's records: scored in 6 World Cups, 975 goals, 494 goals since turning 30, 226 international caps, 143 international goals. First player to score 10 international hat tricks. Yeah, no, there's no denying this, that Ronaldo is a fantastic player. But now go and get, on an unbiased nature, little Messi's records. He's about to be... Actually, I think he might be the most ever World Cup goals scored now. I think he may be. By the way, Haaland might break both of them when it comes to World Cup goals. This is a corner, by the way, for South Africa. It's a corner. I'll be headed up, and that'll be headed over for a goal kick. Do you think Ronaldo is disliked because his fans worshipping him and hating on the big players like an Indian fan treating, calling cricket? No. Ronaldo is disliked because of his ego, whether you either like it or you don't like it. His ego is far more than what you would what you would expect. Like, you would expect someone to have a strong ego, but his is, he openly admits to not caring about the actual team and caring about his individual attributes, which ultimately then will benefit the team. So it's about him being like a god, essentially. That without him, the team's not going to do well. And without him getting his attributes, the team is going to suck. So it's not a team game, it's an individual game, and the team benefits based off of the individual, is his viewpoint. That's his viewpoint. But yet, when it comes to the team, 1 second, South Africa, here's a chance. Here's a chance, inside the box, cleared for a goal. That's going to be a corner. He believes that if you aren't forcing the ball to him and you aren't trusting him with everything that you have, that the loss is your fault. This is actually going to end up being a goal kick. They're going to actually call it a goal kick. No, you've always got to have a neutral mind. You've always got to respect. At the end of the day, he still has done the things that he's done throughout his career. That'll be a free kick here to Canada. I don't know if there's going to be a goal here in this first half. I'm exhausted, by the way. I do think I probably should have skipped this game and then just come tomorrow for 3 straight games. Most goals for country in a calendar year, 32. Only player to score 50-plus goals in 7 consecutive seasons. First player to score 100 goals in 4 different clubs. Yeah. Again, man, nobody is denying what Ronaldo has done throughout his career. That doesn't mean that I think he's the best player, but I think that he is one of the best players. Nobody can deny that. If someone denies that, then they are just a hater and they're not talking from a legitimate level. So there's 8 minutes left here of this first half. Push this down this left wing. Yeah, only one game today is exactly right. But with that being said, we've done a lot of streams over the weekend. A lot of streams. But yeah, we do have 3 games tomorrow night. Brazil versus Japan. Netherlands versus Morocco. It's a big night, actually. It's a big night tomorrow. Who's the second game again? Netherlands, Morocco, Germany, Paraguay. Germany will win that. Germany will win that well. I don't think I got any of the German players in my fantasy team, though. Is it true Messi represents talent whilst Ronaldo represents hard work? Nah. Ronaldo represents hard work. I think that both of them represent talent. Like, Ronaldo is hard work, but also that's like insinuating that Ronaldo is a worker's man, right? Like, Messi is the elitist and Ronaldo is the worker's man. Nah. That's not the case. Is Ronaldo a hard worker? Yes. Is Messi a hard worker? Also, yes. Are they both talented? Yes. But I would not. That would basically be insinuating that's like he's like the workers' class, and that's just not true. Not my analogy, just something I heard. No, I'm not saying it is your analogy. I'm just saying the way that comes across is like Ronaldo is the hard-working class man. You know, they've both come from extremely poor situations in Argentina and Portugal. They've both had to work hard. It's just the way that comes across is incorrect. It doesn't mean that it is incorrect because they're both hard workers. They've both come from awful situations in their own countries as well. First half of the Los Angeles Stadium, still 0-0, 40 minutes gone here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And Odaweshi gets taken down here. This should be free kick right on the edge of the box. Yep, good chance. Good chance. And Bokanazi on Oluwashi. I think every single player that is a great has the arrogance to them. Look at all the sporting greats. Jordan, LeBron, Ali, Bolt, Brady, Phelps, Serena Williams, very polarizing figures. Yeah, but there's two guys there that openly say, I am the GOAT, and openly disrespect the other person who is classed as the GOAT, whilst the others don't do that. So, for example, Michael Jordan, whilst I know he would believe he is the GOAT, he's never actually said that he is the GOAT. LeBron, every 2 seconds, always says that he's the GOAT and that Jordan is second to him. 1 second. And they're going to put that ball up, and that's going to go for a goal kick. And the same thing goes with Ronaldo, where when he was on that interview with Piers Morgan, Piers was trying. He literally said, Diego Maradona, he's not even the best Argentinian to ever play. Diego Maradona is the best Argentinian. And Ronaldo goes, of course. Easy, of course. And it's like, if you are the greatest, let everybody else do the talking. You shouldn't be trying to force people to believe that you are the greatest because you should know that you are the greatest. LeBron is the GOAT, zero debate. Don't do this, Ty. Don't do this. The fact you say zero debate is what annoys me, because it absolutely is a debate regardless. I respect both of them, but it absolutely debate regardless. It's very one-dimensional viewing if you say there's no debate. LeBron is the better athlete. Michael Jordan is the better winner. If you are taking a draft tomorrow or today, you're making a draft today, this is how you always settle it. If you are doing a draft and you get the very first pick of the NBA, you get the very first pick of international football, who do you take in the first pick to sort your club out for the next 15 years? And who do you pick to represent your nation? 1 second in a draft, regardless of where you're from. My answer is Messi, and my answer is Michael Jordan. They put this ball into the box. Good chance. Oh, blocked away. Michael Jordan is definitely the best actor. There is zero debate to this one. LeBron was definitely not a great actor in that Space Jam. 43 minutes gone here. I think there's a lot of PR around them both, and it will be very interesting. There's PR around everybody, though. That's sport. That's sport. And there's always going to be PR that overwhelms these major sporting stars. So 43 minutes gone here. Corner coming up here for the Canadians. There's nothing really that's happened in this game so far. It's not been thrilling. Not been thrilling so far. Bombito, Buchanan, Cornelius. They whip it into the box. Headed down. Oh my gosh, that's an amazing save on the line. Blocked by the keeper. How have Canada not scored? How have Canada not scored? Ronwen Williams here. Also cleared off the line. How have Canada not just scored? How have Canada not just scored just now? Ronwen Williams has just saved the bacon of South Africa. Bang, headed down. No, it wasn't even Ronwen Williams. I think it was Mbokanazi. Oh, dude, that is really good. Oh, no, sorry, it's Modiba. Modiba cleared that ball off the line, and then Ronwen Williams was able to block it. after that from, Bombito got up really well just then. Really, really well. Take back to the Neymar Suarez Messi trio. That trio sucked, bro. What are you talking about? Neymar, Messi, and Suarez trio showed and proved that football is not about the name on the paper. That trio sucked, man. They all wanted to take the ball off of each other. Definitely don't take me back to that trio. Have you noticed that Paris Saint-Germain won absolutely nothing with them there? Whilst when they're not there and they've got the players that they have now, and as a team, as a collective team, they've gone and won back-to-back Champions Leagues. Definitely do not. Oh, that's a penalty. 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 The VAR is going to get involved here. That's a penalty for sure. The VAR has to get involved here. This will be a penalty. This 100% has to be a penalty here. It 100% has to be a penalty. Canada want the penalty, and I'm sure they're going to get it. The referee has not called it. The referee has not called it, but this is very clearly for mine. He hasn't got it. Oh, no, you know what? No, you know what? He puts his leg in between his legs. Oh, dude, it's an awkward one. I don't actually think it is. Yeah, I think the referee's got this correct, actually. I think the referee is correct. This is a fantastic call. This is a fantastic call here from the referee. Because that was an easy one to get wrong. I got it wrong. That was an easy one to get wrong. I got it wrong there. What are you using to watch this game? SBS. I watch it on SBS. It's free. I use a VPN. There's no way. There's no way you can call that a penalty. He's put his leg in between the South African defender's legs. Yeah, give us the pen, you cats. We need a David goal. Yeah. Yep, so no penalty. Correct call. Correct call. What a fantastic call there from the referee. That is a brilliant call. Not an easy one to make by any stretch of the imagination. Hold on. Let me just sort this out here. Yeah, no, I really want that Jonathan David goal. But with that being said, I just don't think I'm going to leave. Oh, here we go. I don't think you would leave a captain of 7. Seb, can you take the captaincy off of a player and still keep their points? You just don't get the double? But you can still captain. You can captain a different player and you still get to keep the points, just not the double points, and you go back to reverse. Like, for example, if they get 7 points, you only get 7 rather than 14. I don't think so. It's cooked after the round starts. Yeah, I really don't know. Ottawa Shea with the ball. Ottawa Shea. It's going to be... Yeah, he's got the ball. It's fine. Because, like, it looks like you have the option to change it, but then you don't. I know you can remove the player from your team and then... Yeah, but, like, I would want a different captain if he only got 7. I also played the qualifier boost this round, yeah. England and the USA are not winning this World Cup, man. Even Seb knows it as an English fan. Even Seb knows it, buddy, as an English fan. They're not doing jack. You know it, Seb. Don't be silly. Don't be silly, Seb. Stop it. Stop it. Don't be silly. And that's actually going to be half-time. Half-time 0-0 here. So the only little bit of controversy, I guess, was the fact of the no penalty. Outside of that, there's nothing really that's happened here so much. I don't really understand why Canada is still exploding about this. I smashed the watch party up last night. It wasn't great. I don't really understand why Canada are blowing up as much as they are about this. It's not a penalty. It looked like it originally, but then when you look at it on the camera, when you look at the extra angles and you look at it in slow-mo, you can clearly see that he's putting his leg in between. You can't actually blame the South African defender there. Like, Canada have had the better of the chances, but overall they haven't really clearly defined themselves in this matchup. And you do look like Arsenal said. You do. That's a great comment. You really do look like Arsenal. But guys, I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes. I'm going to make myself a quick little coffee to get us to this second half. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Go get yourselves a drink. Go get something to eat. Get involved in the chat, and I'll be back in just a few moments. All right, let's get back on the way here. Second half is coming soon. Still half time right now. Still 0-0 in this game. Nothing really dramatic has happened. There was a penalty shout, obviously, right at the end of the first half, but it just wasn't. Canada are blowing up about it, but it just wasn't. It wasn't a penalty. Even though I originally thought that it was. I just think that he puts his legs in between intentionally. He plays for it, which is ultimately why they've gone against it there. If it was a lot more natural, you would have seen that being a penalty. Seb says, I'm looking forward to the bra man for the Maroons with some big calls leaving out Bizza and starting Bostock for a debut in Origin. Not sure what Appy had to do with anything he didn't even play. Brian To'o not being selected is interesting, but he also was pretty poor in the first two games there, and Laurie wants to go differently. I will say Mark Twice they got 3 tries, and Brian To'o, I think maybe on that side they got 1, but I'll also blame the inside men there of Dylan Lucas and also who was the centre, Tony Staggs, for wide. And Twice they had a really, really tough one there on that wing. But yeah, it's some big calls. It is some really, really big calls there, but it's Laurie Daly's last time as a coach. It's the last time you will see him. Cracking on for New South Wales, so they're definitely looking to the changes that are very much needed there. I don't understand why Ethan Strange isn't the 5'8", though. I just don't know why Mitchell Moses gets to keep his spot there as a 5'8". Maybe that day Walker trying to really go out of his job with a bang. His job with a bang. I don't know about what Walker means there, but yeah, look, he needed to change the team around. He's changed it as much as I guess he sees fit. Yeah, look, I think that the selections are still relatively odd, but you know, as a Queenslander, I'm happy for that. I'm happy to see that Laurie is still struggling with the old job, and maybe they can provide a surprise, but I just don't know if I can see New South Wales winning that game. I just don't know if I could see New South Wales winning up there in Queensland, despite the fact they did it a couple of years ago. I don't see Queensland losing this decider in Queensland. I don't think they've named their team yet. They'll name their team in a couple of hours, actually. I don't think they've brought it out, but it's just pretty much going to be the same team that you saw in Game 2 anyway. I couldn't really see any changes being made there. Sam Walker will be there. Munster will be there. Callum Ponga. Surely Reece Walsh doesn't even get into the team. You wouldn't expect him to be there at all, to be fair. At all. Because he hasn't done anything to necessarily warrant it. But anyway, tomorrow, like I said, we have some really big games tomorrow. Brazil versus Japan, Germany versus Paraguay, and Netherlands, Morocco. On Wednesday, we have Ivory Coast versus Norway, France versus Sweden. I think they're going to win by dead set, 6. I honestly think France are going to slaughter Sweden. I'm going to predict a 5 or 6-0. I think that France are going to be far superior. It's in New York, and I just think Mbappe is going to run amok. I definitely will be captaining Mbappe on fantasy. 1,000,000% will be captaining Mbappe on fantasy. No matter what. Again, even if if it meant that I had to sacrifice, say, 7 or 8 points if David gets a goal here, I would remove him from my team to put Mbappe in and as my captain. There's just no way that I wouldn't take that chance there. I think France are way, way, way better than the Swedish, and the Swedes getting through. It's like they got through a difficult group against Japan and also Netherlands. Tunisia were obviously very, very easy. They did draw with Japan in the end, but I think that was also... I actually don't even know how that really happened, but with that being said, I just don't fancy them against France. France are the best team in the world right now. If you were doing a power rankings, France are very clearly number 1. I think rankings-wise, officially, they are number 1 as well. France are actually second. Damn. France are actually second. That's interesting. I thought that France were... I thought that France were in first. Well, they were, but then because that Argentina win against Jordan has put them back above them by quite literally 0.6. 0.6. That can change very, very quickly. 0.6 is the only thing separating first and second right now in the rankings. Then you got Spain. By the way, Seb, I actually saw a power rankings just before on Instagram that said that England in this World Cup so far have looked like the third best team in the World Cup. I find that insane. I find it insane. I think you could agree with why that would be insane. I think I'd have to go with France 1, Argentina 2. Who's probably been the third best, though? I don't know if there's been a clear and definitive third best in this World Cup. Honestly, I couldn't tell you, really, who would actually be a third best, because it's not Spain, and I don't think it's England. I guess you could make an argument for Brazil, but yeah, you probably would. Through this actual World Cup on its own pure merit, the World Cup itself, I would say probably Brazil does go third. And then after that, geez, because like England still topped their group, but it was a much easier group. Oh, except like Croatia still made the last 2 semi-finals in a row at the very least. They made the final back in 2018, but they're a very different team now. It's definitely not Portugal. Definitely not Belgium. And Morocco wouldn't be above Brazil. Germany still had that loss. They still had that loss as well, which was massive, to Ecuador 2-1. Couldn't believe that. So yeah, I couldn't actually tell you who's clearly been the third best team in this World Cup. So maybe you do still just go with England. I don't know. Maybe you do. But the South Africans have come back out onto the field here. It is do or die. Every goal will matter, as if it goes 1-0, this game could easily end 1-0. Could easily end 1-0. Very, very easily. South Africans going crazy in the crowd right now. By the way, I've noticed that the broadcasts have never shown, well, not that I can remember, they've never shown the man who stands saluting all game for the DR Congo. I've never seen them actually show him on the broadcast. You would have expected them to do that. They may have done that, but I just can't remember seeing that happen. And he's such a big talking point. He's such a big story. It's so strange that they don't, show him. That's what the World Cup's all about. They also aren't showing the baddies from all around the world anymore. They used to always show the best-looking women throughout the entirety of the stadium. Now they don't show them at all. So Mofokeng will go off and Mbatha will come on here for South Africa. That looks like it might be the only change here at halftime. And South Africa are going to be the ones starting off with the ball here. All right, who progresses through to the round of 16? It is a tight affair as we speak. I want to know, actually. I want to see what Canadians are thinking about the penalty shout. I'm sure they're blowing up, but it's not. I just don't think it's a penalty. You just have to go to Twitter. So obviously, guys, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Second half has started here. Second half has started. All right, here we go. So, where is it? Oh, if I open that up, does anyone talking about it? No, okay. So if I go over here, Canada World Cup. The first thing I'm sure will come up. All 47 nations have now scored at the World Cup except just one country. Guess the country. Oh, true. All the nations have scored at the World Cup except for one country. What country didn't score at this World Cup? Was it Iraq? Did Iraq score a goal? Maybe it was Iraq off the top of my head. Who didn't score? Canada now with the ball in the attacking area. Oh my gosh. Canada chance. Nope, that's going to go away for a goal kick. Damn, that was a close one. Unless it was Haiti. Iraq. I know they got... No, that was Iran. They got one against Norway. Maybe Haiti didn't get a single goal. Yeah, they didn't score against Brazil. They didn't score. No, but Haiti beat Scotland. No, Haiti lost 1-0 to Scotland. No, they scored 2 against Morocco. I don't think there is a team that never scored at this World Cup, because Curaçao did. I don't know the answer to that question. I'm not too sure at all. Oh, South Africa have definitely scored a goal. What's bro talking about? There's nobody in this World Cup who hasn't scored. Or is it Panama? No. It's not Panama. I don't think that's true. I think bro's talking out of his ass. I think bro's lying. I don't think there has been a team. Canada just made World Cup history, not only by reaching the knockout stage, but by becoming the first host nation ever forced to play an away game in its own World Cup. Yeah, I do find it pretty silly that they do have to play an away game here. But it's what happens when you don't win your group and allow the Switzerland team to get through instead. South Africa with the ball at the halfway, and that shall be a free kick. Free kick. A little bit of a shift here in the formation for the Canadians. And South Africa, to be fair. Yeah, Mofokeng was playing more as a 10 behind. They've gone a slight bit more defensive now into this second half. And South Africa, they whip this ball across. They've never really had a big time opportunity, South Africa. Whilst at least with Canada, they've had that penalty shout, but they've never really had that massive opportunity. But actually, both these teams have never been at a knockout stage before, though. But that's what this tournament's going to bring, considering there's the extras. Right now, we're in a part of the tournament that never existed. This part of the tournament just wasn't there. We would have gone straight through to the round of the 16. And South Africa would have been eliminated. Canada would have gotten through. South Africa came third, didn't they? I think it was third. No, they did come second. Actually, so both these teams would have actually just generally qualified. But the groups wouldn't have been as easy. Like they did have a group with Qatar. And Canada did have a group with Qatar, Switzerland, and Bosnia. But then again, 3 teams qualified there. So 50 minutes gone here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. It's still 0-0. Free kick coming up here to, I think, South Africa. Yeah, definitely. It just comes down to the foot there. No, it's actually just going to be a throw-in. They're just going to say it's completely fine. So he doesn't want to go off and wait for a minute, so they're just going to play on with it. And there'll be another throw-in here to Canada in a really threatening area. Do they put this ball inside the box and go for a head-up? Or they still keep trying to play this around? Right now, we just haven't seen Jonathan David involved too much whatsoever in this game. There's nobody who's really just owned this game. You need to own this matchup right now. You need somebody to stand up. They do. They throw it into the box, head it inside into a good area, and then cleared away from South Africa. This is actually such a different South African team to what we saw in Game 1, though, against Mexico. Against Mexico, that was so disappointing. It was not good to watch. But they've just been a lot more defensively sound. Maybe Mexico just is a really gangbuster team when they're playing at home. Maybe it just is is Mexico going deep? Actually, I wonder how difficult Mexico's grouping is for these next games. Because Mexico should be getting through this round 100%. They take on Geez, where are they? When do they play? I think they play on Wednesday, don't they? Yeah, Mexico, Ecuador. Still a defensively difficult game to break down. Still very, very difficult there, but it will be at the Mexico City Stadium. So the atmosphere is going to be pumping there for a knockout. South Africa with the ball. Here's a good chance over the top. Here's a good chance, South Africa. Here's a good chance. And Canada get the ball away, and they'll also get a free kick. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that one. Well, for everyone who's watching right now, obviously football is a relatively new sport here on the channel, so I appreciate anybody who's tuning in. Seb says, wife keeps getting me off to do bloody outdoor projects. Doesn't realise it's God's day of rest. Yeah, well, I feel like I was having I wish I was having my rest right now. But, mate, the World Cup's on. Listen, the World Cup's on for a couple of hours, like 2 hours here. And then I've got the rest of the damn well day to do it. The rest of the day. You got to watch South Africa versus Canada, and then I can do whatever you need me to do. Well, actually, no, you're not going to say that because then she'll get you to do everything. She'll get you to do everything. That's the funny thing, though, with partners, right? Like, when you have a day off, when you have a day of rest, it's like they want to plan everything. They want to plan everything. Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's go everywhere. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it's like, I don't want to do jack. Like, when I finish this, I'm sleeping and I'm having basically a complete day of doing nothing today. I'm going to do less than nothing today. I might go to the beach for a swim at some point, which would be good here in Danang. But outside of that, I'm not doing jack, man. I don't care what anybody plans for me. Especially considering that it's not even really a day off because I'm doing this. And then we've got 3 games tonight and then 3 games the next night. Basically, the schedule's still very, very hectic until Monday next week, and then it starts to open up a lot more in the limited games. Ooh, nice play, South Africa. Very nice play in the midfield. Oh, wow, this is really nice. Oh, no, that's going to come away for a free kick here for South Africa. That was really, really nice in the midfield there. Saliba is going to get done for a free kick, and he's going to give away a yellow card as well. Yeah, he does hold him back. That was really nice there for the number 20 for South Africa, though. The number 20 is... where is he? Kuluso Mudau. But Saliba will get the yellow card there. And 10 minutes gone. We still haven't really seen anything. Ash says, I had Canada 1-0 before this game, so it could be on. I was expecting more of like a 2-0 here. But just nobody has owned the game at the moment. I feel like this is going to be a nightmare if this goes to extra time. But this game could easily have an extra time written all over it too. A lot of these round of 32 matches could easily have extra time written all over them. Australia, Egypt, I could easily see that go to extra time. South Africa here. Here's their chance. They've got numbers up front. They've got numbers here. Outside the box. Still theirs. Push it out. That's going to be too hard. Still their ball. Doesn't go out for a goal kick, but... Oh, it just all falls away in the end. Talente Mbata. Mudau did well to save that ball. Just now South Africa with the ball in the box and grabbed by Crepo. Crepo with the grab. I think that's kind of the first time I've even had to see him really grab the ball, though, Crepo. And then they're going to throw this ball over the sideline for... It doesn't go for a throw-in, but South Africa get the ball. Yeah, like 1-0 is probably just how this game finishes right now because neither team is getting attacking opportunities. The issue is, though, is that when you do see... If one team does score, in the last 5-10 minutes, you're going to see the keepers start to come up and crouch and really get up forward because, again, whoever loses this is out. Whoever loses this is gone. So you need to put as many men up front as you possibly can that last 5-10. So this game will definitely open up the later it goes Ty says, need Canada to win during normal time. Well, right now, it's like anything can happen. It's football. This would be the first goal of straw for both these nations at a World Cup. But there's just nothing that's really separating the game right now. There's nothing that's really taking it away for either team here. Football Matt's all right, Blake. So name's Blaze, by the way, and Blaze, not Blake. I know we're watching football, but any chance I can get your thoughts on the Stokes news, please, especially as an Aussie viewpoint. So I don't know a fantastic amount about this right now. Like, obviously, I was asleep, and then when I've woken up, I've briefly seen that Ben Stokes is retiring at the end of this series. We were speaking about it just before. He's 35 years old. I was expecting him to, at the very least, go through until the Ashes next year. There's an injury right now in this game. God bless him. But I was fully expecting that he'd be there for the Ashes next year. So I find it very, very odd, but I don't know a deep enough amount about like what his reasoning is or what he said or how it's come about. All I've done is wake up and seen the news and then go straight into a live stream here for the old football. But yeah, it's pretty out of the blue for mine. I definitely wasn't expecting it until at least after the Ashes. 35 years old isn't like he's some extremely old lad. Like he's definitely, getting there. But we see players quite consistently get 36, 37, 38. Like England in this recent Ashes series, Bombito comes off here, and also Saliba. Bombito and Saliba come off for Canada. And it will be the Figueroles and Segur who come on for Canada. So they want to go a bit more attacking. We was shit-talked and spoken nonsense about from the English media for so long that our team was so old, right? And we had players who were 36, 37, 35, but yet we still dominated that series. And I'm just like, well, there has to be something else here to Stokes retiring. There has to be something else to Stokes retiring. Because I don't know why he wouldn't go one more year. I think next year is absolutely England's best chance of winning an Ashes in over a decade or over 12 years. Why is he retiring? He still definitely has another year left in him. Sebs has been working 6 days, was out till 2 a.m. watching England, had Suns football for 2 hours this morning. Other one needed dropping off, and then she was out all day, come back and needs all these jobs doing. During the FIFA World Cup, mate, you need to get a tattoo on your forehead saying football's on, shush. No, don't do that. Football's on, give me a rest. Oh, I'll do it after football, mate. I'll do it after the football. So 30 minutes to go here will be free kick to South Africa. 30 minutes to go. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. I agree with you about staying till the Ashes, but something behind the scenes obviously happened with nightclub thing, whether he done wrong or he feels the ECB treated him unfairly. Yeah, maybe. Again, I haven't been able to see a lot of what's been... Oh, it's 9:20 p.m. I keep forgetting what time it is. I thought for a second it was really early in the morning, like 11 a.m. for you, Seb. No, to be fair, it's 3:21 a.m. for me, so you got to forgive me in regards to my brain right now. But yeah, obviously there has to be something else. I don't even necessarily know about that, but there has to be something else going on, or maybe he just doesn't believe in Brendan McCullum. And to be fair, he has taken the blame for a game style that he necessarily hasn't bought into over the years. Like he's defended it publicly, but he's also shown differently on the pitch where he doesn't just go on an attack and will defend and will go against the plan that I guess McCullum's done. So I don't even necessarily know if he's a big Bazball, stupid ball fan. I just think that he's been forced to defend it, and maybe he just doesn't believe in it anymore. And that's going to be over for a throw-in here for South Africa. He'll be retiring because they want to clamp down the drinking culture that's in the squad. He's a big part of the partying culture. Okay, fair enough. So it is to do with the... Where was it? It wasn't Brighton. Where was the incident? It wasn't Leeds. Where was the incident again? It wasn't Newcastle. I can't even remember where it was. As soon as you say it, it'll ring a bell, though. Bristol. Of course it was. Yeah, Bristol. No, it was Bristol, football mad. That's the one. South Africa here with a chance. Outside the box. Whip it in. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. That's... like, you're never saying that should go in, but that was a very good chance of going in just then. He's actually struck that really well. He struck it really well there, Oswinapolis. Oh my gosh, it only missed by about this much. That was so close for Apolis. So close. All these South African players, I'm sure they just play in the South African domestic league. Where do the South African World Cup players play league-wise? Mainly the South African Premiership, yeah. So most of all these guys play in South Africa. Lyle Foster obviously plays at Burnley. A space for Canada down the midfield, and they're just not going to have that final option. And South Africa will give away a throw-in, actually. Lyle Foster plays for Burnley. Samukele Kabini plays for Molde FK, decent team in Norway. Hanover for Ime Ocon. That's really about it. Odowetu Makanya plays for Philadelphia Union, and Mbakazi plays for the Chicago Fire. But outside of that, pretty much everybody plays in the South African Premier League. But it's actually pretty impressive that they're even into a round of 32, especially over the likes of South Korea and Czechia. Czechia don't have some that amazing players, but at least they're playing in the European leagues. And that's going to be going to the keeper. Then the recent one, he went and had a punch on with the Saracens player, Samoan back rower. Oh my gosh. He's just a little angry man, isn't he, Stacey? Just a little angry man. Freak. And that's a throw in South Africa. It's starting to make a lot more sense to me now. It is starting to make a lot more sense. Alphonso Davies is looking like he's about to come on for the Canadians. And they're away, Canada. Oh, here we go. Here's the chance. Look at the speed. Oh, York. Oh my gosh, Jonathan David nearly just... That's unbelievable defending. From South Africa. Mbakazi has been unbelievable here today for South Africa. Mbakazi has been actually superb. Udaweshi gets a shot on goal, saved by the keeper. I can't believe Jonathan David should have had a goal just then, Seb. Jonathan David should have had a goal just then. But Mbakazi has been unbelievable. Chicago Fire's got a good player here. Mbakazi is a good player. He has gotten some really good defense going here for South Africa here today, and he's prevented another goal. 6'5", 275 pounds, 21-year-old lock. Not sure I'd want to have a row with him. Yeah, not sure about that one. Little angry man, the old Stokes. See, Canada should have been up 1-0 just then. With the Jonathan David follow-up. The first one wasn't easy. Free header really in the middle of the box, and Canada have headed that wide. Free header there, and they've headed it wide. Oluwaseyi. Wasn't an easy one for Oluwaseyi. He had the speed to get through, and then the keeper saves it. But Mbakazi stopping that shot from Jonathan David is what's the most impressive. So South Africa now play this ball again around the back. 25 minutes to go here in this game, unless we need extra time. Which is entirely possible right now. Who are England playing again in this next game? I forgot. Who are England playing in their round of 32 matchup? All the big meaningful chances fall in the way of Canada, however. Laurie's this morning from New Zealand Blaze. Get around here, Laurie. Except he went to hit Gus Atkinson, who was with Stokes, and hit in England. Oh, here we go. Chance. No, South Africa cleared it away. And who was with Stokes and hit an England cricket support member who needed stitches. Jeez. Get Get a grip. Free kick in South Africa. This could be a yellow card here for a breakaway. Yep, it will be a yellow card. That is a booking. For Siger, who's just come on the field actually for Canada as well. The Congo. It's not easy. It's not easy. I know people really do love to shit on a Congo because they don't know anything about the Congo. They are the most disrespected team at this World Cup. It's a hydration break right now, by the way, guys. So I will hydrate myself with some Coke Zero. The Congo are not an easy team to break down. They are a very good defensive unit. I would say defensively, this team could be class top 15, top 20. But attacking-wise, they are exactly where they are in the world rankings. You know, down low in the 50s, 60s area. It's just their defense is going to be super tough here to break down. But the thing is that England can score worldies. And if you're forced to score worldies, England can definitely do that. And that's how you have to score against this Congo team. They have to be really, really good goals. End of the third quarter coming up. I hate saying that, eh? I hate saying the end of the third quarter. It sucks so bad. Get rid of these drinks break, please. Please. I am begging. I'm actually begging. These drinks breaks suck so much. The worst thing is, though, is that the FIFA World Cup final is going to have a 30-minute halftime because there's a halftime show. So halftime is going to take so much longer. Plus, we've got the drinks break. It's going to turn from like a 2.5-hour event into a 3.5-hour event. I promise you. Because the football typically goes for, you know, about what, an hour and 45, an hour and 50 itself. Plus you've got the halftime about 15 minutes. Like usually it's about, 2 hours to 2 hours 10 really in regards to the game. But I'm telling you it's going to be at least 3.5 now. Wampasuck will know, but that'd be crazy. Visa is the man. Visa is the man for the Congo. Almost the whole Congo squad play in England in the French league. True. Fortmad says, our defence isn't the best. I can see Visa catching us out, especially with Pickford's concentration levels of Harry Brook. I just love that Jordan Pickford gets called the dinosaur arm man. Like how he's got little arms that flap like this. Oh, no. Seven says, hey, Blaze, who looks better? Who wins from here? Look, I think Canada probably win from here. With that being said, though, Mbakazi has been fantastic defensively for South Africa, and he's been able to defend really, really well. Jonathan David's not really been impactful in this game whatsoever. Oluwaseyi hasn't really been able to do anything. I think Oluwaseyi's about to come off the field, actually. I think they're taking Oluwaseyi out of off the field. Yep, Oluwaseyi is coming off the field here for Canada, so they're making a switch up. 20 minutes to go with the game here, folks. 70 minutes gone. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. But there is a genuine chance we could be seeing extra time here. I've made a few changes to my fantasy team. I'm using my first booster, 12th man. You're using your first booster now? I used the 12th man booster in week 1 with Haaland. You're using your first booster in fantasy now? This round, I've used my booster on everyone who qualifies gets a 2-point bonus. So, for example, right now, Kreshpe, the goalkeeper for Canada, as long as he keeps it at a nil and not conceding, I think he goes up to 9-10 points already immediately. I got it in Haaland. Now, I think Haaland's got a bit of a tricky matchup against Ivory Coast. I don't have him in. Who's your front three? Might be a David transfer out at this rate. Look, it's looking like a David transfer out at this rate, Seb. So it's funny because Pado, one of the guys here on the channel who is Canadian, he, coming into the first game, had Jonathan David. Now, Jonathan David got 2 points in the first game, did nothing. So then he decided to trade him out. He transferred him out and didn't want anything to do with Jonathan David. Well, in the second game, he went and scored a hat-trick and got 24 points. So then Pato said, you know what, I'm going to bring Jonathan David back in because I probably got him out a little bit too early. And then he proceeded to get 2 points in game week 3 and is currently on 2 points in the round of 32. So I'm blaming Pato Cat. I'm blaming Pato Cat. It is quite literally his fault right now. Messi, Robbie, and Mbappe. Yeah, I got Messi. Everyone's got Messi and Mbappe right now. I went with... I just thought Ivory Coast is a bit of a tricky game there for Haaland, even though he probably still scores. But I've got Messi, Mbappe, and I was going to go Eden Kunda, but I'm going to go Jonathan David. So I took Jonathan David, but I don't mind if he doesn't bang because I've got other players that I could easily use. Like, for example, I could just use 5 in the midfield and just use like a... like, for example, I've got Kamada from Japan and Dembele, Olise, and Vinicius Jr. I could just add in Lamine. Like, I've got Lamine Yamal there, right? So it just means I could use Kamada against Brazil. And I genuinely believe Japan can beat Brazil tomorrow night. You guys are going to want to be here because it's going to be a cool game. We'll be live for it. I've also brought in Jordan Boss. I think Bossy can get a goal against Egypt and a clean sheet. I've also got Munoz here for Colombia against Ghana. I think Ghana are a defensive unit, not an attacking unit. I also brought in Sanchez here, Mexican defender. Ecuador don't usually score. I know they beat Germany 2-1, but they don't usually score. I got rid of Havertz. That bloke's a poor man's Peter Crouch. Germany are just so weird this year, man. They're so weird. Yeah, Havertz isn't for mine. Going into the World Cup, I thought I must have Havertz. He scored well in the first game, and I thought, shit. But then I was like, that's only against Curaçao. But no, Havertz isn't for me. Germany is not for me in this World Cup. Even though I have a bit of a soft spot for Germany, I nearly went with Mecca, but I'm not doing it. I don't want any part of Germany. I don't trust it. I don't trust Germany right now. I think probably works really well for the Netherlands. They're a good team. They are a good team. Didn't really excite me against Tunisia, though. Did not really excite me against Tunisia, but they probably just took it really, really easy. Japan versus Brazil tomorrow is such an exciting matchup. Brazil may actually break down mentally as a country if they lose to Japan. They'll get knocked out by Japan. All right, Brazil down the left wing. They may actually lose their minds. And that's well over the top. It's been headed down. Oh, chance. South Africa. Out of the box. Well over the bar. Christian guesses, why can I bet on a draw on Sportsbet? I thought this was knockout now with penalty shootout to the end, or am I wrong? So you can still bet on a draw because there can still be a draw. It just means we go to extra time. So you're betting on 90 minutes. So if you bet on a draw, then that means it needs to be a draw at 90 minutes. We will still see extra time, but you win your bet for it being a draw. No matter what, we will see a team get through here. No matter what, we will see a winner in this game. But there can absolutely still be a draw. If it's still 0-0 in 15 minutes, we'll be going to extra time, and that's a draw. So Alphonso Davies comes on here for the Canadians. Alphonso Davies will come on. The Bayern Munich man. There's that Undav. Neymar starts, you reckon, or nah? No, mate. Neymar is a charity pick here from Brazil. Neymar, unfortunately, is injured way too much. Neymar is not a young, fresh pup anymore. And there's no chance that Neymar starts, mate. there's no chance. He's lucky to even be here at the World Cup. They did it really, like, they did do it sympathy-wise. You need to bet on that game outcome or to go through if you want to take the draw out, yeah. Let's be honest, Brazil are rated for the past, not present. They struggle for the qualification of the World Cup. Yeah, 1 second. Canada. Oh, my gosh. That was so close from Promise. He promised a lot and nearly delivered, but it will just go past the left-hand side of the post. Oh, just kept curling away there. That was a great chance there from Promise. That was a great chance. Neymar just there for the vibes. Honestly, he is, mate. He is. Yeah, I would agree, though, that Brazil aren't rated on current form. Like, Vinicius Jr. is great, but overall, they've not really got a striker that I would fully get behind. Their defense is solid, but also their transition is questionable. They've got a lot of individuals and not necessarily a team. And the midfield is quite old. The midfield's not great for the most part for Brazil. Yeah, Seb said the midfield isn't it for Brazil. The midfield is quite old and just not the go. Like Vinicius Jr., for them to win the World Cup, Vinicius Jr. would have to be the guy, and it would go down as the greatest individual World Cup performance of all time, because he would have to carry them the whole way. Netherlands versus Morocco will be a good one tomorrow. I think I have to take the Dutch to win. I could easily see Morocco win that game. Easily. It's 50-50. It is as 50-50 as they come. I think Netherlands probably do win, but trust me, I'm telling you, Morocco can win that game. No one backs them in ever. They're not a big nation from, like, I'm not saying you're a casual, but even though I think you are, but that's not an insult. The point of the matter is that people won't typically think of Morocco football-wise, whilst they will think Netherlands, but Morocco are a very good team with Hakimi and the likes. Inside, here's a chance. Jonathan David, save. Seb, I'm going to scream. Seb, listen, mate. I'm going to scream. Jonathan David. First, he doesn't get the penalty before. And now we're going to see him have that shot. I'm definitely casual. No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I know you are, but I'm not insulting you by saying that, even though I know you are. The fact that you asked if Neymar's going to be starting tells everybody everything they need to know. It tells everyone everything they need to know. But Netherlands, Morocco, I find it very difficult to see who wins that game. Yeah, the Dutch are weird because some bloke picked them and now everyone thinks they are going to win the World Cup. Yeah, because that guy picks team. If they win it, the guy is actually a miracle worker. Because I don't think, when I watch the Dutch, because I have this in the back of my mind too, right? That same guy that you're talking about. I have this in the back of my mind, and when I watch them, I'm not actually that impressed. Like, I mean, cool, like they're good, but winning the World Cup is what I'm thinking. I just don't think they have what it takes. Like, for example, I think Japan are a big-time team in this World Cup. I think they're really good to go deep, but I don't have them win the World Cup. Well, they drew 2-2 with Netherlands. And I didn't think that they were fantastic against Tunisia either. Like, it's not like it's been a... Yeah, it's not like it's been a fantastic group stage for the Netherlands. With that being said, it wasn't like it was an unbelievably easy group, even though I don't rate Sweden at all. I know they've got Ishak and Gyökeres, but I don't rate Sweden at all. I still think it'll be Spain or Argentina who win the tournament. Yeah, but that's... Sure, no worries. Fair enough, man. I'm going to say France right now. France clearly look like the best team in this World Cup. That doesn't mean that they win it, but they look like the best team so far. I reckon Netherlands get knocked out by France in the quarters. I don't think there's any Buckley's chance they get past France. I think there's Buckley's chance. I can't see a team beating France right now. 80 minutes gone here, folks. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be live for Brazil versus Japan, Morocco versus the Netherlands, and also, geez, I keep forgetting that middle game, probably because it looks like it's an easier matchup on paper. That's right, Germany-Paraguay, it is an easier matchup on paper. Belgium-Colombia will be a good game. Colombia should win that. Colombia should win that. Colombia looked good against Portugal. They just couldn't put the goal in the back of the net. And it wasn't even because of the Portuguese defence. It's just that Colombia were off shooting-wise. Colombia were the better team against Portugal this morning. Or yesterday. Oh, here we go. Here's Canada. They were put in. Oh, decent cross, but it gets cleared away from South Africa. I really think Mbakazi deserves... By the way, fantasy-wise, I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this. This will be a free kick here to South Africa in their own defensive half. Fantasy-wise, do you get a clean sheet if it's 0-0 after 90, or do you have to get through the extra 30 as well? So, for example, if this stays 0-0 going into extra time, will you get the clean sheet even if it's 1-0 after extra time? Harry Kane and England are actually so bad. Look, Collins fan, you're wrong. They're not great, but you're wrong. They're not great, but you are wrong. Won't see Messi against Ronaldo unless it's the final. Correct, yeah, which is actually beneficial. Like, we're not beating Argentina in the round of 16, but also... also, we're just not beating them, but it's at least beneficial now that we don't have a Ronaldo versus Messi quarterfinal on the other side of that. Kane got cursed. I did see this Ghanaian witch doctor. I fucking hate all this bullshit in regards to this demonic stuff. But with that being said, I do believe that they believe. And if they believe, that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. And that's why I decided against doing that voodoo content series and just content series spirituality-wise over on Breakout Travel, because if you believe, there's the problem. So they're going to get this ball inside and it'll be cleared away here from South Africa. Just says clean sheet 60-plus minutes. Yeah, so 60-plus minutes means they can be subbed off in the 71st minute. If it's 0-0 in the 71st minute, you get subbed off, and then it's a 1-0 game in the 1-0 game in the 80th minute, and they're not playing. That means you still get the clean sheet, even though the team that they play for didn't get a clean sheet, but they got a clean sheet while they're on. I believe he might have cursed his Canada side. I promise you that Ghanaian witch doctor does not give a shit about this Canada. Oh, to be fair... Well, he wouldn't be cursing Canada. He'd be cursing South Africa. He wouldn't be cursing Canada. I'm telling you, the whole of Africa is hate watching South Africa right now. The whole of Africa is hate watching this game because they really want to see South Africa get knocked out. Top 3 fraud alert teams. Turkey is 1. They're scammed, though. Turkey, 1. Fraud alert. I am putting England on there. They are potentially a fraud. And there's another team, Germany. Fraud alert. Here's a chance for South Africa. Oh, saved by Crepo. Oh my gosh, that was a big save from Crepo. That was a massive, massive save by Crepo. Uruguay not fraud. I didn't think they were going to do anything at this World Cup. They're just a scam. I really don't know, Mistake. This is why does South Africa want? Why does Africa want South Africa to lose? I really don't know, but the game against Mexico, there are a lot of people who came out and flew from Africa to hate watch South Africa. Yeah, this game's been some messed up. It's not been fantastic, Seb. It's not been unreal. But at the end of the day, it's still a knockout, so we've still got 5 minutes to go here of regulation time before potentially an extra time does ensue. Cleanse this morning, bro. How are we today? Very, very tired, man. I've only had about 2 hours sleep. It's 3:46 a.m. in the morning for me, and this game has not been unbelievable. With that being said, we love our football. We love our football. We rock on. Tomorrow's big, big day of football. Knockout rounds with shit teams will do that, I suppose. Yeah, but you've got to remember, man, these two teams would have qualified in second. You know what I mean? So... yeah, the groups would have been entirely different and would have been a lot more difficult, but these two teams would have qualified in second. So there's going to be 2 substitutions here for South Africa. Moremi and Reyners will be coming in. I like how all the hosts made to round 32. They were always going to make the round 32. Canada were giving a piss easy group. USA were always getting out of the group, and Mexico were never getting knocked out in the group stage. Ever. Never. So Reyners and Mokemi, come on. But no, I am looking forward to a sleep, Clint. I'm looking forward to a sleep. Usually Monday is my complete day off, but I'm not missing any of the round of 32 onwards. We will not miss a single game of football for the rest of this World Cup, and then we'll be moving into international friendlies and all that type of stuff when they're on. And that's for nations that you wouldn't fully normally expect. I'm happy to do countries like... We've got AFCON coming up soon. Oh, is it AFCON coming up soon? No, that's next year. We've got the Asian Cup coming up at the beginning of next year in January. We've got the Nations League that gets back underway. We've got these tournament with Vietnam and India and Indonesia and that coming up, so we'll be doing stuff like that. Just put $100 on Brazil versus Japan. Biggest World Cup punt so far, over 2.5. Vinny Jr. need time, paying $3. Don't mind it. Don't mind it at all, Clint. I think Japan win that game. I think they have a good chance to win that game, but I don't mind that bet. So they'll be whacked that one away. And Canada, this is looking like an extra time game written all over it, by the way. This looks like a penalty shootout written all over it, by the way, which for those who don't know, that means 30 more minutes will be played after this finishes. 30 more minutes will be played, and then we will do penalty shootout. I just don't know if either team here has a goal in them. Unless Canada can do it right now. Unless they can do it right now. Here we go, Jonathan David. Jonathan David. Oh no, Alphonso Davies. And that'll be easily defended. If it goes to Panza back Canada. Man, you wouldn't know jack in regards to how these two teams take penalties. Highlanders, what do you mean you think Canada wins if it goes to penalties? What are you talking about? You don't even know who takes what penalty. And South Africa could be an amazing penalty shooting team. How do you know? Nobody here knows, because I don't think anybody's really watched this South African team take penalties. And no one's really done that in regards to Canada either, to be fair. This is the first time these two teams have ever made it to a knockout stage. Extra time will be both of them too scared to do anything. Yeah, I'd agree. Canada win based on what? Well, pre-game makes sense to tip Canada, but right now, bro's just saying, yeah, he just said he's just guessing. Like, and to be fair, penalty shootout is just an ultimately educated guess. Yesterday's game was awesome with the time for time. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Iran thought they were in. They were super disadvantaged this tournament. Oh no way, South Africa. Oh my gosh, if they knock out Canada right now, that would be just wild. Free kick here to Canada. Clint says Harry Kane can get screwed just donating when I bet on him. Yeah, Harry Kane scored yesterday. Harry Kane scored yesterday against Panama. Not a double like I needed. So we can get screwed because you bet him for a double against Panama. Fair enough. 89 minutes gone here. Imagine host nation out already. Well, Qatar got knocked out in the group stages of 2022. Russia, I think, got knocked out of the group stages in 2018. South Africa, they're lucky to get off the plane in their own home country in 2010. Host countries don't typically qualify. Well, they qualify for the tournament. They don't qualify necessarily for the knockouts. I genuinely believe if we had the normal system and we had the normal, 36 teams or whatever it was, or 34 teams or whatever it was beforehand, Canada would have been put into a group that would have probably still had Switzerland, but you would have also probably seen you would have seen a whole different fray. Like, you would have probably seen like an Uruguay get in there. Uruguay would have beaten Canada. 5 minutes of added time here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. You would have seen Uruguay get in there. It would have been Switzerland, Canada, and maybe like an Asian team of a South Korea or something like that. Oh, that's going to be stolen from Canada back. To be honest, all hosts should advance this round. Mexico and USA definitely should. Mexico 100% should. Bosnia is going to be tough for the USA, but USA should still beat them. Same with Messi. He had him for a double and they bring him out in the last quarter. Yeah, but that doesn't make sense. They were never starting Messi. They'd already qualified him first. They'd already guaranteed first position. They were never going to start Messi. I'm surprised that they even brought him on at all. I didn't understand why I saw that he was being brought on at all. 4 minutes left of added time. He cleared away from South Africa. It's a goal. 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 Canada have won the game. Canada have won the game. They've knocked South Africa out. Canada have won the game and they've just knocked South Africa out in the 91st minute. Oh my gosh. Stephen Estaquio has just shot this one from outside the box and won the game for Canada in the 91st minute. Oh, you got to feel for South Africa. You got to feel for South Africa. You've got to feel for South Africa. Traylon says, let's go Canada, South Africa, you bus parking losers. Bro, you guys, what are you talking about, bus parking losers? What have Canada done in this game? You deserve to win this game for sure, and this is awesome, but what do you mean bus parking losers? Bro, are you serious? Canada have not done anything special here, and they've also had more. I think South Africa had a lot of possession as well. With that being said, though, Canada deserve this. Oh, I don't even know, bro, actually. I don't even know. This has been a very equal game. How can you tell me that South Africa have parked the bus, man, when they've had 49% possession to your 43% possession? That doesn't make any sense. It's not parking the bus here at all. They've had 49% possession to 43% possession. Parking the bus would show that South Africa have just been essentially defending the entire time and just booting the ball away. Like they've had more of the possession in this game. Nah, I wouldn't agree with that. South Africa have had probably the biggest shots and opportunities, just haven't capitalised. No. Canada have definitely had the more opportunities and shots. But the terminology of parking the bus is not true here. South Africa haven't parked the bus at all. They haven't parked the bus whatsoever. That's not what parking the bus is. And they will clear it away. Lindsay, I was hoping you said off and my bets would have been refunded. That would have made more sense. I punted thinking he would have been going hard, making his record all that much harder to beat. He's not that kind of player necessarily, but I see what you're saying. But with that being said, you should never bet on Messi in that game. He was never going to be starting. And I'm surprised that he even played. Well done to Canada here. This is the thing. I'm not trying to sit here and say that Canada don't deserve this win. It's just the fact that they got called bus park and losers, and I think that South Africa have been, they've not been great in this game. It's been a really dead game, but I definitely would not say parking the bus would define what we've seen from the South Africans at all. It's a great goal there from Esquivel. That's a great goal there from the Canadians, though. It is a great goal there from Estaquio. Mistakes as Canada has done it. Well, they were the favourites before this game started, and they're going to be able to get this one through. They've snuck a goal very, very late here. I am quite glad because this game wasn't too fantastic, but at the very least, we're not going to have to sit here for another 30 minutes. Blaze, if this is a repeat of Algeria, I might need 10%. Hey, where's my 10% for Canada winning? Horrible way to lose. South Africa might have been good at the penalty shootout. Well, we would have had another 30 minutes. That's going to be Canada ball. 20 seconds left here. At the end of the day, I think that whoever found a way to score deserved it, but it's just, so that you feel for South Africa because their defense was very, very solid here. But Canada didn't do anything special. Mbokazi was great. Chance here. South Africa, no, cleared away by Canada. He's not far ahead of Mbappe, Clint, and he's got more World Cups in him. Who's this? Messi? Who are we talking about? Oh, you're talking about Haaland. Seppin says, how are you parking the bus with more possession? Exactly right. No one's parked the bus in this game. No, nobody. Simpsons predicts Mexico Spain final. Simpsons is wrong. That comes here. Canada clear it away. It should be game over. They should be able to qualify. They should be through. He hasn't called it yet. He's still letting it play out. And that's going to be South Africa ball. Why is he still allowing this to play? He hasn't called the whistle yet. They put it in, and that's saved, and that should be it. Crepo gets the save, and that should be enough here. I will say I feel for Mbokazi. I do feel it for Mbokazi. I think he was really, really good here for South Africa. Tyson has actually climbed top of everything this. No, this will be it now. South Africa, they are about to be eliminated. Messi, all-time top World Cup scorer, will definitely end up with Mbappe. I'm going to give you a bold call here. I'm going to tell you that I think Erling Haaland is going to be it by the end of his career. Argue it. Like, he's played 2 games and he's scored 4 goals. The only issue is, Norway in general, but he's got a long time to do it. But that is the end of the game here, folks, and Canada will steal the win in the final minutes of the game to win 1-0. Very, very, very heartbreaking there for South Africa, who, look, Mbakazi was fantastic. They defended nicely, and ultimately, you just saw the Canadians break through in the end. Let's get through some of these statistics here, because, again, I'm still super confused about the fact that we had someone call them parking the bus. It really didn't make any sense at all. So, South Africa football, let's go have a look here at the stats. So, 14 shots to 7 on target for Canada compared to South Africa 6 shots for 2 on target. But South Africa had 58% possession to 42% possession for Canada. Like, that is absolutely not parking a bus. 58% possession to South Africa. It's actually amazing they had that much possession in this game. Canada are going to really need to wake up in the next game. Who did Canada play in the next game? Who do Canada play in their next game? So it'll show now. So they win there. So it should update to show us. I don't know. Okay, I'll Google it. I will Google it. Who do Canada play in round of 16? Ooh, that's wrong. So the winner of Canada versus South Africa. Oh, you're gone. Netherlands and Morocco. Oh my gosh, Canada. Oh my gosh. So Canada will now play Netherlands or Morocco. Well, this is the juicy time of the tournament. But Netherlands and Morocco, they're going to love what they just saw. But congratulations, Canada. You definitely you go through, and there's no hate towards you. At the end of the day, you do get the job done. I don't think it was spectacular, but regardless, you did it, and you found a way to punch through in the end. In South Africa, unfortunately, we'll have to see you in 4 years' time, or we'll see you in the AFCON, and we'll see you in the qualifiers. I will be live streaming your games, and I will be live streaming a lot of international games and whatnot. So this is not the end of South African content here on the channel, but it's just that this will be the end of their FIFA World Cup journey. But I'll see you tomorrow, guys, as we've got Brazil versus Japan. We've also got Germany versus Paraguay. And then we'll finish off with Netherlands versus Morocco. Massive, massive day. So do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.